Did you know that in World War I, over 8 million horses went to war and only 1 in 10 made it home? These animals charged through gunfire, dragged cannons through knee-deep mud, and carried everyone from foot soldiers to kings. With every step, they shaped the tide of battle. Brave, relentless, and built for the fight, these war horses made history move because they were the engine. Today, we ride through 15 horse breeds that dominated the battlefield and shaped empires. Stick around to meet the horses that defined war. Kicking things off at number 15 is the Trakehner. This horse carried families through a war, survived enemy fire, and walked across a frozen sea. The Trakehner was never just a cavalry mount. It was a lifeline, bred in 1732 by order of King Frederick William I of Prussia. This horse came from the state stud in Trakehner. The goal was to create a war horse that was fast, powerful, and reliable. Something a soldier could trust with their life. To get there, they blended old Prussian stock with Thoroughbreds, Shagya Arabs, and Anglo-Arabs. The result was a tall, lean, and powerful horse, fast on its feet, calm under pressure, and smart enough to think when riders can't. That's why it became the go-to mount for elite cavalry across Europe. It handled long-distance marches with ease, powered through muddy trails, and kept going right through the chaos of combat. And then came World War II. As East Prussia fell, thousands of people escaped west with Trakehners pulling wagons through ice and artillery. Though some horses froze mid-stride, and some drowned in icy water, the ones that made it became legends. But what if you needed a horse that could vanish into the fog of war and strike fast? Flashing in at number 14. The Courser. During the brutal battles of the 100 Years' War between England and France, the Courser became the war horse of choice for many knights. It moved fast, held strong, and didn't wear out when the fight dragged on. On muddy fields and rolling hills, coursers could weave through formations, retreat quickly, and change direction mid-charge. They gave knights mobility in a time when every second counted. Coursers were the main mounts used in real battlefield conditions during the 14th and 15th centuries. They were dependable and built for the fight. They carried full-grown men in armor across rough terrain without slowing down. They were muscular, long-legged, and possessed the lung power to sustain long campaigns. Outside the battlefield, coursers were trusted for hunting and carrying urgent messages. People valued them for being fast, tough, and dependable. In wars where movement decided survival, the courser was essential. From muddy skirmishes to full-blown cavalry charges, the courser kept soldiers alive and on the move. Now let's talk of a breed that went from battlefield grit to royal performance. Without losing its edge, gracefully strong at number 13 is the Lipizzaner horse. Long before they stepped into royal arenas, Lipizzaners served behind the scenes of war. The breed was developed in the 1500s by the Habsburg Empire at the Lipica Stud Farm, located in what is now Slovenia. The goal was simple: to create a horse with the strength for battle and the grace for ceremony. Breeders crossed Spanish, Arabian, and local karst horses. The result was a compact, athletic horse with control, balance, and presence. Lipizzaner ancestors served in cavalry units across Europe. They were quick, sure-footed, and easy to handle in close quarters. Even under pressure, they stayed calm. That made them reliable when it mattered most. Later, the same traits took them off the battlefield and into the spotlight. At the Spanish riding school in Vienna, Lipizzaners became icons of classical dressage. Their movements were smooth, but never soft. Every step was powered by years of strength and discipline. Most are gray or white with deep chests, arched necks, and strong backs. They're also focused, clever, and built to work. Today, they perform with grace, but their balance was shaped by survival, not showmanship. That was grace under pressure. But the next one? Pure survival instinct with hooves. The Wild Mustang holds our number 12 placement. In the chaos of World War I, between 1914 and 1918, the Mustang proved itself as a battlefield survivor. These horses descended from Spanish mounts brought to the Americas in the 1500s. Over generations, they ran wild, shaped by wind, heat, drought, and predators. That made them tough enough for war. They were sure-footed, compact, and could travel long distances with little care. When cavalry stocks in Europe began to fall short, the U.S. stepped in. Mustangs were selected as remounts and shipped overseas to replace the exhausted horses already on the front. They carried soldiers, supplies, and gear across mud, wire, and chaos. Their smaller frame made them quick to train, and their instincts kept them responsive in the thick of combat. Even after the war, their service didn't end. At Fort Irwin, California, wild-caught Mustangs still helped train soldiers in simulated combat zones. Horses like Rowdy and Trooper Gunsmoke became part of that mission. These horses may have come from open plains, but their hooves left tracks across battlefields. They weren't drafted, they rose to the fight. Now let's rewind time to a horse that helped conquer an empire without breaking stride. Writing history at number 11 is the Mongolian horse. The Mongolian horse played a pivotal role in one of the greatest military campaigns the world has ever seen. Genghis Khan's army relied on this breed during the 13th century conquest of Eurasia. Known locally as Karagin Nojan, these horses were fast, sturdy, and dependable across thousands of miles. They carried warriors, supplies, and weapons through mountains, deserts, and frozen plains. Built low to the ground with a stocky frame and strong legs, Mongolian horses stood around 12 to 14 hands tall. Their strength and balance made them perfect for long campaigns. They traveled for days without breaking down and required little care. Even in deep snow, they could dig for grass and feed themselves. That self-sufficiency gave the Mongol army a significant advantage of speed without supply chains. Each soldier rode with multiple horses to keep the herd rested and the army moving. Their calm nature made them easy to control, even during sudden attacks. Today, they remain central to Mongolia's nomadic life. They still race, carry herders, and compete in events like the Mongol Derby. If you're still watching, you're clearly one of us. So give that like button a tap. And if you haven't already, subscribe. We've got more incredible war horses coming up, and you don't want to miss them. The Hanoverian comes in next. At number 10, bred in 18th century Germany, this horse was designed to carry knights into battle and haul heavy loads across muddy terrain. With solid bone, strong shoulders, and steady nerves, it became a trusted cavalry horse. During wartime, Hanoverians also pulled artillery and wagons, earning their place behind the front lines and in the thick of combat. As warfare changed, so did the breed. Breeders refined the Hanoverian by adding Thoroughbred, Trakehner, and Arabian blood. That shift brought more agility, more elegance, and a lighter build without losing the power. The modern Hanoverian kept the strength but gained flexibility, making it a standout in sport. They usually stand between 15.2 and 17 hands, with clean lines, a strong top line, and expressive gaits. Their walk is purposeful, their trot floats, and their canter is powerful and balanced. They're smart, willing, and easy to train, ideal for amateurs and professionals alike. Today, Hanoverians win in Olympic-level jumping, dressage, and eventing. Now, let's meet a horse that shimmered like fire and never quit. The golden Akhal-Teke is our 9th breed. In the deserts of Central Asia, warriors rode gold. The Akhal-Teke is one of the oldest warhorse breeds in the world, with roots going back over 3,000 years. Used by the Turkmen tribes as early as 980 BCE, these horses were known for their speed, toughness, and the way they shimmered in the sun. Their metallic sheen wasn't just for show, it also signaled strength and stamina. They were fast, yes, but more importantly, they could keep going. Through blistering heat, freezing nights, and endless dry land, Akhal-Tekes stayed in motion. Their lean frames, narrow chests, and strong legs were built for distance. They needed less water, held their weight, and handled extremes without breaking down. Turkmen warriors relied on them for raids, long chases, and battles across the steppe. The horse was also a symbol of pride, and only the best were trusted in war. This breed helped shape others too. Its bloodlines contributed to the Thoroughbred and influenced some Arabian horses. Today, the Akhal-Teke still stuns in endurance events, but its legacy is forged in survival, speed, and war. Speed alone doesn't win a war. Sometimes you need raw pulling power in the mud, and this is what the next horse delivered. There is strength at number 8 with the Clydesdale. Between 1914 and 1918, during the mud-soaked trenches of World War I, the Clydesdale pulled its weight, literally. Bred in Scotland for farm work and hauling, this draft horse was built for strength. With deep chests, broad shoulders, and powerful legs, Clydesdales moved timber, plows, and wagons through tough conditions. When the war began, those same traits made them essential. Thousands were sent to the front, not as cavalry, but as the backbone of military logistics. Clydesdales hauled field guns, artillery, ammunition, and medical supplies through narrow, bomb-cratered roads. Trucks broke down in mud, but these horses didn't. Their calm nature made them easy to train and dependable in chaos. They handled noise, explosions, and long hours without panicking. At the Somme, Passchendaele, and other major offensives, Clydesdales played a crucial role in helping armies hold the line by keeping them supplied. They were never meant to charge, but they carried the war forward every day. Today, they march in parades and pull ceremonial wagons. But during the Great War, they pulled the weight of entire armies, one load at a time. That was muscle in motion. But now, we're headed to the land of desert warriors. At number 7, we have the first desert storm, the Marwari. In the deserts of Rajasthan, the Marwari horse was bred for war, by warriors for warriors. Developed by the Rathore Rajputs in the Marwar region of India, this breed was a battlefield companion. During the 12th to 18th centuries, they served in conflicts like the Rajput-Mughal Wars and countless battles between rival kingdoms. Marwaris earned their place as cavalry mounts for their unmatched bravery, endurance, and loyalty. Their bodies were built for survival. With strong legs, tough hooves, and a compact frame, they handled long marches and desert terrain with ease. Their distinctive inward curving ears, often touching at the tips, became a symbol of the breed. In war, they were fast, alert, and unshaken in close combat. Their ability to stay calm and responsive under sword and spear made them ideal for mounted warfare. Marwaris weren't just transport, they were partners in survival. Riders trusted them not only to charge, but to retreat safely when needed. Today, they're celebrated in Rajasthani parades and ceremonies, but their legend was written in dust, heat, and the clash of steel. Honor and heat shaped that breed. But this next horse was built like a tank in plate armor. The Percheron rides royally at number 6. The Percheron carried knights into battle long before it pulled wagons through the countryside. This breed comes from the Perche Valley in France, with roots tracing back to the 1600s. It was first bred for strength, stamina, and the ability to carry armored riders into combat. Percherons were trusted mounts for medieval knights, chosen for their power, calm minds, and ability to handle the weight of both man and metal. With broad chests, thick necks, and solid bone, these horses were built to move through the fight, not around it. They stood tall, carried heavy gear, and held their ground under pressure. Their sure-footedness made them reliable in rough terrain, and their stamina allowed them to stay in motion long after others tired out. As warfare changed, so did their job. They became popular for pulling stagecoaches, plows, and freight. Still, their warhorse blood remained. They were exported worldwide, including to the US in the late 1800s. Today, you'll see Percherons in farming, parades, and even in recreational riding and dressage. But that strength was first built for battle. Steel wasn't just worn by knights. It ran in the veins of the next giant. Powering through at number 5 is the Shire horse. In medieval Britain, few horses carried more into battle than the Shire. Known then as the Great Horse, the Shire was the backbone of mounted warfare. With a massive frame, wide chest, and towering height, often over 17 hands, it was bred to carry fully armored knights straight into the heart of combat. These horses didn't flinch under pressure. They moved through the fight with weight, muscle, and determination. From the 12th to the 15th century, the Shire played a key role in medieval campaigns. Its strength allowed it to bear heavy armor and weapons, and its calm nature made it steady in the chaos of battle. As armor became lighter and cavalry tactics changed, the Shire stepped off the battlefield and into the fields. It became essential for agriculture, logging, and transport, pulling plows and carts across muddy ground and narrow roads. They were especially favored by breweries for hauling large wagons. Today, the Shire is a rare breed, protected and preserved by conservation groups. But its legacy began on the battlefield, made to charge, carry weight, and endure the fight. Now strip the weight and crank up the speed. This next horse was made to fly through battle. Speeding into number 4 is the Thoroughbred. The Thoroughbred is built for speed and bred to endure. It stands between 15.2 and 17 hands high. Their bodies are lean and athletic, with long legs and deep chests. They also have powerful hind legs that push hard with every stride. This is a horse made to move. Thoroughbreds were used in light cavalry during the Napoleonic Wars and the American Civil War. They carried messengers, led charges, and served as mounts for officers. Soldiers valued them for their speed, balance, and sharp reactions. They are bold and alert. Some are hot-blooded, but they are also smart and willing. With the right rider, they give everything. Today, they shine on the racetrack. In racing, a war horse is a thoroughbred that runs often and runs long. These horses may race over 50 times, staying sound and sharp for years. That takes heart and grit. Whether in a cavalry line or chasing the finish line, the thoroughbred moves with purpose. That was fast and fierce, but coming up, warriors rode this breed into the fire. And out again. Taking the third spot is the Arabian horse. For the Bedouin warrior, the Arabian horse wasn't just a mount. It was a lifeline in the desert and a weapon in battle. This breed was forged in the Arabian Peninsula, with a lineage that stretches back thousands of years. Bred by the Bedouin tribes, Arabians were made for war, swift, precise, and tough enough to cross endless sand without slowing. They became the perfect cavalry horse for raids, pursuit, and escape. They are compact but powerful. Most stand between 14.1 and 15.1 hands. Their refined heads, arched necks, and high-tail carriage give them a look of elegance, and every feature serves a purpose. The wide nostrils help them breathe deep. Their dense bone and lean muscle let them cover ground fast and long. Arabians are alert, sensitive, and deeply loyal. In battle, they stayed close to their rider, calm, focused, and quick to move. They were bred for survival in heat, hunger, and dust. That same toughness now dominates endurance competitions around the world. This isn't just a show horse, it's a desert-born warrior with fire in its blood. The next horse was Spain's secret weapon on horseback. The Andalusian stays pure at number 2. The Andalusian, also known as the pure Spanish horse, earned its name through centuries of careful breeding in Spain's royal stud farms. It was the crown jewel of Spanish cavalry. This breed became a favorite among European armies, especially during the Reconquista, between 711 and 1492, a long campaign to reclaim the Iberian Peninsula. Spanish knights rode Andalusians into skirmishes, mountain ambushes, and full-scale battles. The horse's power, control, and fast reactions made it perfect for battlefield command. Andalusians are known for their arched necks, strong shoulders, compact bodies, and thick manes. They stand around 15 to 16 hands tall and move with natural rhythm and strength. Their bodies are built to stop, spin, and drive forward, making them ideal for close combat and mounted maneuvers. They are intelligent, courageous, willing, and quick to bond with their rider and calm under stress. Today, they shine in classical dressage and parades, but their roots are in war. On the battlefield, the Andalusian led the charge with pride, power, and precision. We've seen elegance and force. But the final warhorse was beauty wrapped in brutal power. Leading the charge at number 1 is the Friesian. Back in the Middle Ages, the Friesian was a knight's first choice for battle. Bred in Friesland, Netherlands, this horse was made for war. Knights needed a mount strong enough to carry them in full armor, and the Friesian handled it with ease. With powerful hindquarters, sure-footed movement, and a calm mind, it didn't flinch under pressure or panic in chaos. Friesians were often used in European cavalry during the 12th to 15th centuries. Their main job was carrying armored knights into battle and holding the line in tight formations. Their size and muscle gave them the power to push through enemy ranks, while their agility helped riders stay in control. They stand 15 to 17 hands tall, with thick necks, feathered legs, and a high-stepping trot. Most are black, with flowing manes and tails that add to their bold presence. Even then, these horses weren't just brutes. They were smart, steady, and loyal. That's why they stayed in service for generations. Today, Friesians shine in dressage and driving, but their roots are built from war. That wraps up our look at the horses that ruled the battlefield. These were warriors in every sense, tough, loyal, and built for war. Want more jaw-dropping legends? Tap into our next video on powerful extinct horse breeds you won't believe actually existed.